I found out she sold my boat before I even blew out the candles on my retirement cake. My hands were still sticky with frosting when I saw the text notification light up on her phone. Funds received. Hope you enjoy the spa. Gorgeous winking-faced. My stomach twisted. At first I thought maybe it was one of her girlfriends joking around. But curiosity, it's a dangerous thing when you already suspect the truth. I opened the message thread. There it was. The full exchange. She'd listed my harbor mist, the 28-foot fishing boat I'd spent years restoring, and sold it that afternoon. The buyer had transferred the money to her personal account. The spa trip was code. It wasn't the betrayal of the boat itself that cut me. It was that she did it today. My retirement day. The day I thought we'd celebrate the next chapter together. I walked out to the garage, my chest tightening. The empty trailer slot stared back at me like a missing tooth. Her name's Laura. We've been married 32 years. For most of that, I thought we were steady, ordinary maybe, but solid. The kind of couple that weathered rough tides. She never cared much for fishing. Called my boat your floating midlife crisis. But she tolerated it. Or so I thought. That morning she kissed me on the cheek, told me to relax and enjoy the day. I didn't know she'd been making plans of her own. By the time I confronted her that night, the house smelled like champagne and candles. She was packing a small suitcase, silk robe, travel bag, perfume. Going somewhere? I asked. She froze. It's just a weekend trip with friends. Spa resort in Carmel. Bought with what money? Her eyes darted, then narrowed. Don't start, Tom. You have your savings, your pension. I just needed a little something for myself. You're retired now, you don't need that boat. The calmness in her voice chilled me more than if she'd shouted. It wasn't about needing it, I said quietly. It was mine. It was me. She rolled her eyes, brushing past me. God, Tom, it's always about your things. Boats, tools, hobbies. Maybe if you spent half that energy on us. Us. I laughed bitterly. You mean you? You spent my retirement day erasing the one thing I loved outside this house. She zipped her suitcase. I don't owe you an apology. I deserve a break. For 2 days she didn't answer my calls. Her social media showed sunsets, champagne glasses, ocean views. Hashtags like hashtag self-care and hashtag healing energy. I couldn't even look at those pictures. The irony of her posting new beginnings, while I was sitting in an empty garage, wasn't lost on me. Then a friend from the marina called. Hey Tom, heard you sold Harbor Mist. Shame man. But did you know the new owner filed a complaint? Coast Guard found the boat half sunk off the channel this morning. My heart dropped. Half sunk? What? Apparently the buyer, a guy named Kyle, had taken it out for a spin that night. Engine flooded, hull cracked, boat drifted into restricted waters. The Coast Guard had to tow it back and run a check. Guess who the registration was still under? My friend said. I didn't have to guess. Me. That meant I was legally responsible for the wreck, and the fine that came with it. Something in me snapped. I called the Coast Guard office that afternoon, explained the situation. The officer on the line, a young guy named Riley, was sympathetic. Sir, technically, until the transfer paperwork's processed, it's still in your name. But if the sale was unauthorized, we can flag it for investigation. Unauthorized. I repeated, tasting the word. Yes, sir. If someone sold your property without your consent, that's fraud. You can file a report. It'll freeze the transaction until it's resolved. I almost smiled for the first time in days. Let's do that. I sent every document, old title, purchase receipts, photos of me working on the boat for years. Within hours, Harbor Mist was under legal hold. The Coast Guard impounded it pending ownership verification. That night, I forwarded the official notice to Laura's email with one line. Hope your spa has good Wi-Fi. You'll need it to explain this. She came home the next evening. No tan, no serenity, just fury. How could you do that? She shouted, waving the notice. They froze my account. The buyer's demanding his money back. I stayed seated, sipping coffee. Your account, Laura? Or my boat? You're unbelievable. Do you know how embarrassing this is? I think embarrassment's the least of your worries. You committed fraud. Her face went pale. You wouldn't. I met her eyes. Wouldn't what? Hold you accountable? You stole from me. For once she had no comeback. Just silence. The weeks that followed were a strange calm. The Coast Guard ruled the sale invalid, refunded the buyer, and restored ownership to me. The boat was damaged, yes, but insured. The claim covered most of the repairs. Laura tried to play nice after that. Cooked dinners, left little notes like we were newlyweds again. But something fundamental had cracked between us. One night, while she slept, I sat at the kitchen table and looked at our wedding photo. Her smile, carefree young, stared back at me. I wondered when she'd stopped seeing me as her husband and started seeing me as an obstacle. I didn't want revenge anymore. I just wanted peace. So I got it. The next morning, I left a note of my own. Laura, I'm taking the boat out one last time. When I come back, I'll send you the divorce papers. You can keep everything else. Just not me. I packed a small bag, grabbed the boat keys, and drove down to the marina. The air smelled like salt and rust and second chances. As harbor mist hummed back to life, I watched the sun break over the horizon. For the first time in years, I felt light. Not angry. Not broken. Just free. A month later, I got a letter from the Coast Guard, standard paperwork, but at the bottom, Officer Riley had scribbled a note. Glad she's back where she belongs. You too, I hope. I smiled. Yeah, she was. And so was I.